Let us drain our cups to these three strong bastards!
When you look at the dragons, what do you see?
When dragons flew to war, everything burned. I do not wish to rule over a kingdom of ash and bone.
Aegon Targaryen sits the Iron Throne.
The crown cannot stand strong if the house of the dragon remains divided.
Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
The princess has a dragon, you dumb cunt.
Have your tongue for that.
He can keep his tongue. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
Dracarys!
Welcome back. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, streaming House of the Dragon. It is the finale of season 2 that we're about to talk about. And Andy has returned.
Hi, friends.
The return of the king.
He's back from battling Skynet in his own
L4, L5.
The Battle of L4, L5. Are those the Terminators you fought?
Right, seriously.
The bulging discs.
You eked that one out.
Oh, I threw some hard S's in there at the end. I was thinking about the pole vaulter. I couldn't help it.
Good for him.
We just watched the finale. It is Sunday morning. It'll be late Sunday evening, likely, when you hear this. Maybe Monday morning. But don't fret, Boba Fetts. Next week, we've got more House of the Dragon content for that ass. It's going to be a mailbag episode. So email streamingthingspod@gmail.com with your thoughts on the finale, your thoughts on the season as a whole, any questions you have about what might be coming in season 3. That'll be a giant episode reading all of those and answering those that we do next week. The following week, we're going to be doing our Dragon Draft. Steve's got something.
It's finally happening?
He's been begging for this for months.
It's the Dragon Draft, baby. That's right. We're all going to have teams, and we're going to draft dragons, not only from House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, but any dragon in pop culture that you want. And of course, one of the positions on each team is most fuckable. So start thinking.
About the most fuckable dragon?
Who is the most fuckable dragon?
Toothless.
Spoilers.
So that's the future of the show, guys. We're also going to be covering the Rings of Power season 2 and the Penguin in the next 2 months. So those are things to look forward to. Patrons, don't worry. We've got constant Game of Thrones coverage that is returning next week. Season 2, episode 1 and beyond.
And the reason why it went on pause and it's returning next week is because I moved and thus the studio moved, and probably why things sound a little different, maybe even look a little different.
A lot different.
It's because I haven't quite finished setting up the studio yet. So.
Yeah, you've only been moved in a couple of days.
Yeah, it's only been a couple of days.
Neither of us helped.
Yeah, at all.
in spirit. You guys
Andy was supine and I was getting denied a home loan. So
there you go. You had reasons. You had reasons. But the studio's not set up yet. I don't have the sound paneling up yet, so it might sound a little echoey this episode. So sorry for that.
Yeah, right.
But
it's just the finale. Nobody's listening.
It's just the finale. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, we don't have the soundproofing up. So if the timbre or quality of the audio is a little bit different, don't be a dick.
Yeah, we know. We're aware.
We're trying our best here. But we just watched it. We've got a lot of thoughts. If you're an old hand at the show, then you know what we're going to do is talk about our overall thoughts on the finale. And at this point, the season as a whole, and then go into a play-by-play, scene-by-scene deep dive of the episode. And then we'll wrap it all up with our Valyrian Steels, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. And then our dragon eggs, some behind the scenes info, maybe some Easter eggs from the books, anything like that. And then our Mummer's Dragon, our favorite performance of the finale. And I think for me personally, the Westerospection, where we're going to be free and clear with any book spoilers at the very end of the episode, is where most of my yapping is going to take place. I got a lot to say about what they're doing. As far as having read the book twice, and yeah, that's what the show's going to look like. Did I miss anything? Any business?
Oh, well, this might be the last chance to really pump our Big Red Noodly Boy t-shirt you can get on our merch store that I'm wearing right now. You can't really see it because of the mic, but go get it. It's cool.
It's a very cool shirt and makes you look really muscular and fit in general.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, are you an Olympic pole vaulter who got disqualified for having too big of a dick?
And I'm like, no, it's just the Big Red Noodly Boy shirt.
Yeah.
Don't be confused.
Get yours while it lasts.
That's right. The shirt not the.
Not the pole vaulter.
Yeah, because much like Aegon's dick, it might burst like a sausage, you know.
Yeah. Call your doctor if your pole vaulter lasts for more than 4 hours. Yeah, let's get into it, I guess. We still don't know the title of this episode. Again, the same issue every week. I think this one was released online, the name of it, but you can't really trust that either because that's happened before. Remember that time they were like, it's called A Dance with Dragons, and they were super confident.
Yeah.
And it was called Small Folk or some shit.
I think it was the gold
Regent.
dragon and the red or something. The red
Did
dragon
either
and
of
the
you
gold-
guys guess
No.
the red sewing?
No.
No.
Why would we
God.
guess red sewing?
Low hanging fruit. Come on. That's such an obvious choice for that
Man,
title.
We should have had you on.
I think I called Dragon Seeds.
Oh, yeah, that would have been.
And Steve's guess was Queen Rhaenyra's Dragon Dance Party special.
Super fun time, dragon dance fun.
Something like that. And that wasn't right.
No.
Yeah, missed opportunity there.
I,
for sure.
honestly, Ryan Condal missed out.
So are we guessing this time? What we got?
Sure. Even though, I think it's released. But what's your guess, Andy?
My guess is going to be thank fuck Harrenhal's over. I don't know.
That's a good guess.
How about the queens of the seven kingdoms?
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
I like that. Dumb idea, but I like it.
Steve?
I'll go with the March to War. I don't know.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
lame.
I'm going to go with season 3 trailer.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, according to the wiki, this episode's called "The Queen Who Never Was."
That's a good title.
Yeah.
Honor R.I.P. Rhaenys. R.I.P. Rhaenys. Let's get into it. I'm really eager to see what you guys, because this is my second time watching it. I'll just leave it completely empty and free. Andy.
Yes.
What did you think of the House of the Dragon season 2 finale?
A little underwhelmed. Not that it wasn't a great episode. I just thought that we were going to get somewhere further than we did. So while I still very much enjoyed it, and I think they did a lot of fun things, I think there was a lot of comedy, which was surprising for the finale, because we got a lot of early Aegon comedy throughout the season. And I thought that was like kind of
Over and done with?
Well, intended to be like a tonal shift, like partway through the season, like after episode 4 happens, it's like, okay, we're like, we're at war, but people are people and this is fun. And, let's get serious halfway through. So I was surprised by the comedy this time. And I think also like some of it it was funny, even though it wasn't intended to be, just because it was us watching it together, So like there was comedy that we found that wasn't necessarily there. I do wish that some things have played out a little differently this season, and we can get to that probably more in the Westerospection thing. But I enjoyed the episode for sure. Solid 8 out of 10.
Steve.
I tend to agree with you. I think I might be a little bit more positive on it, but I do agree because I think if this was the penultimate episode of a season, this would be like a banger. Like if there was one more episode, because they're kind of hinting towards a specific thing that happens in the books, and I think if they ended the season on that, like that would be pretty cool. But I agree that this is kind of like, oh, they're ending here. Okay, I mean, I don't hate that, but it's also kind of a little underwhelming that we don't get to see exactly what I thought we were going to see by the end of the season. But overall, I think it was a good episode. I mean, there was a lot of really great scenes. I love the individual scenes of even I was surprised at how much I enjoyed Tywin Lannister's little journey in Essos.
Oh, it's great.
like when they kept going back, like I think they went back to him like 3 times over the course of the episode, and like halfway through the second time, like, okay, how much are we going to spend the season finale on Tywin Lannister? And then by the end, I'm like, okay, I had fun. That was a good time. I enjoyed it. Yeah. And then seeing, of course, I can already see the internet, people getting angry that they had another scene of Alicent secretly sneaks off to hang out with Rhaenyra and they talk about the war. And I can see people getting angry about that, but like I enjoyed that scene quite a lot because, again, this show continues to take things that are events that happen in the book and recontextualizing them in a way that doesn't necessarily contradict the book, but it adds layers that you didn't quite think of in the book. Like last episode, we talked about how Jace started the idea of needing to find dragon seeds, but then they added this wrinkle of like, well, now he's threatened by the dragon seeds because it threatens his claim to the throne. That was great. And the season I think continues with that, but I agree that it could be seen as a bit of a letdown in a way. But Kit, what are your thoughts?
I am torn. You know, there's some really good moments in this episode, but if I had to sum up my thoughts, I would have to just mostly highlight my disappointment. If I'm being honest, I think I've loved a lot of the deviations, you could call them. You could also call them illuminations. You know, George Martin himself has said that the Fire and Blood book was a kind of a way for him to have his cake and eat it too. And normally when you're writing a book, you have to pick one or the other. And I could have all three. I could just say, oh, that's what Maester Gerardus said happened. That's what Eustace said. That's what Mushroom said. And Gildane doesn't even really know what happened. And just do all of them. And you can just decide, because ultimately when you're reading history about ancient Rome or Mongolia or, King Edward, you don't know what actually happened. You certainly don't know what happened in the back rooms in these conversations and what these people were really like, right? So anyway, however, just in general with the pacing of this episode, especially because it's only 8 episodes, it's one of those, I have PTSD perhaps from the final seasons of Game of Thrones where it's like,
yeah, that's fair.
Why not just make, okay, you ended here, but why didn't you just make 10 episodes? I don't think it's a very good spot to end season 2. I think that knowing there's a minimum 1.5 year wait kind of infuriates me. And I think the casual watchers who were really buying in on season 1 with all of the book readers telling, and maybe I'm just looking too much at their perspective, but you got to put yourself in their shoes, right? You're like,
oh, season 2 is where it's going to really pop off, right?
All the book readers are telling them this is all the setup for fucking chaos. And they're like, oh, okay.
You ever seen a dragon dance?
Okay, no.
You're about to see him hoe down in the sky.
All right, I'm in. And then now they get to the finale tonight. They haven't seen it yet, but they're going to be, the fury. I'm going to have to stay off Twitter.
The Bronze Fury?
Can you imagine though?
Oh, no. There were definitely things as we were watching the episode thinking like, oh man, the green subreddit is going to be fucking furious. They're going to be infuriated by this. Holy shit. Like in real time.
I wonder, I'm really torn on almost everything. And we'll get into it scene by scene, but like the vision that Daemon has, spoiler alert, is one of my favorite moments of the episode, specifically because of Alice and their performance and how well that's done and what it means for Daemon's journey. But also there's a lot of it that's like, do you think I'm a fucking idiot? Like you're just showing me ice zombies because I remember them? Like, what is that? What's going on right now? You know what I mean?
I remember.
I kind of hate Alicent showing up in Dragonstone. Like, I think that Rhaenyra going to King's Landing was a ballsy move by the writers, something that definitely did not happen in the books.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. And to just have the inverse is kind of symptomatic, I think, of the biggest problems with this show right now. And it's the fact that they're going in circles with so many things, Rhaenyra, hesitant to do violence again, still. Again.
Dude, when she said deterrence after she got the dragons,
yeah, it's like,
shut the fuck up.
What is going on right now? And luckily, like Corlys is like, oh, we ain't doing this again, right? But it
she looks at the camera.
To even have that thought is just frustrating. Daemon going in circles with it, what ultimately I think was a wonderful arc about fully putting aside his need for the crown, and yet he symbolically handed her the crown at the end of season 1. So I could see why people are frustrated to have an entire new, you gotta give people something for my lizard brain. You didn't give my lizard brain anything in this finale. You gave me nothing. If you would have had Daemon behead Sir Alfred, he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah.
I would have fucking loved it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I expected. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't take you for a turn clock. Like, kill him. He's treasonous. He did a treason.
He did it.
I can say this, I think, without spoilers. I called Andy, and Andy's a little more cheeky with certain levels of spoiler. And he was like, oh, we were kind of talking about the episode that I had already seen. And I was like, well, you know how we've been debating all season about which of the 3 or maybe all 3 major events that we know are coming they would get through? He was like, yeah. I was like, what if they did none of them? And that was What a plot twist that would be. And I just,
M. Night.
I'm kind of shocked, you know?
Well, I also feel like I wonder if I hadn't read the book and didn't know what was going on, if I would be happier or upset about this ending, because to me, the show very much is, I think the heart of the show, to me at least, is the conflict between Alicent and Rhaenyra specifically. And you do kind of have to jump through hoops to get those two together, because I do think their conflict, and when they are in the same room together and they are hashing these things out, I always enjoy that, because I do love those characters and what they represent and the journey that they're going through. And so, like, fundamentally, like, I agree with you. Like, you're kind of going into that well one too many times and before it starts to become unbelievable.
Like, picture
but
this.
I do like the substance of the conversation and the
That's
drama.
where I'm torn, because there's certain lines. Some of my favorite lines are in that conversation.
Yeah.
And yet the fact that it took 8 minutes of my finale where it didn't get to where I wanted to have that scene makes me angry. And then I'm like, well, they should have just done a couple more episodes. They could have had that conversation.
Well, that was another thing. Like
in King's Landing, Rhaenyra shows up, Alicent throws open the gates, and then they have this conversation they're having now. Right?
You mean like when she's already conquering the...
Yeah, if she goes there, I'm just like, that's a place for that conversation to take place, not in my finale. You know?
I actually really like that scene, and I didn't have the same like, oh, you're doing it again, because like I felt the desperation and the turning of the tables in that sequence, and showing how far from who she was Alicent has now become. Where she like literally, and we'll obviously talk about it.
You are much changed.
Yeah, like she literally was like, okay, I get it. You have to kill my son. Yeah, fine. You know, and she's willing to do that, as opposed to like trying to fucking stab out Luke's eye in season 1. You know what I mean? She's just a complete.
You know what? It would have been amazing if Daemon popped out of the shadows and stabbed her.
Gotcha.
No, what have you done? She was coming right for you.
I saw her.
What's so interesting is that we have this truncated season, and so we have the PTSD of season 8 of Game of Thrones, where we're like, oh my God, they're rushing, and then instead it's like you have a truncated and you dragged your feet. So it's like we needed the 2 more episodes, because you did the right thing. You did the slowed down pace or whatever, but you didn't have the 9 and 10 that those are the bangers of every season of Game of Thrones, like 1 through 6, and so we didn't get that. So like this would have been a phenomenal episode 8.
Yes,
didn't get
exactly.
We didn't
I think
get
this
a 9 and 10.
this is a great penultimate episode. Like if there was one more episode that kind of followed through with that conversation that Rhaenyra and Alicent had, like it would have been like, oh yes,
No, absolutely.
fucking great way.
And ultimately, I love the show, and my biggest complaint is that it's over, right? That's a wonderful feeling to have about a show, but
leave them wanting more.
I'm also practical, and I'm in the trenches with these online conversations, and I feel like Warner Brothers, HBO, Ryan Condal are my liege lords, even though I don't work for them, but I'm a you know what I mean? And I'm standing in the shield wall.
Are you the small folk?
And they've just left me without a flank, you know? You're like, good luck talking about this for a year and a half as a fan, bitch. And they take off on their dragon.
Are they crows? Is that how you ride a horse? Do you know what sound horses make?
They flew away.
Oh, so they're riding a crow?
They're riding on their giant 3-eyed raven.
Come on, Buzzbeak.
Oh, man.
I couldn't make a dragon noise. Like,
I was hyped that we got a new location. That was great. That's been one of my biggest complaints this whole season. It's like, it's like we just get home base, and like here's some place you don't care about where there's a fight, and back to home base. Yeah,
we haven't left the Crown Lands.
You don't care about Rook's Rest, sir? Whoa, hello.
Sharp point.
Yeah, it was like that felt more Game of Thronesy to me. Like, hey, here's this weird spot that you haven't seen before, but a character that you know in a weird situation. And like, more of that, please.
Okay, now that we know everything that's happened, what are the 2 biggest battles that have ever been filmed for television? There's Rook's Rest and what? Now that we know what
bastards.
didn't happen.
Brackens versus the Blackwoods, but we didn't actually see
We didn't get that battle. I mean, no, Ryan
you're
Condal
talking
said
about- yeah,
this season there would be 2 of the biggest battles ever put on TV, and we only got 1.
Well, he was thinking like, well, they're numbers wise, we hired a lot of people to lay on the ground. So for that Blackwood one,
It's wild to me.
That is wild.
I feel, was it a misdirect?
must have been.
They're thinking we're doing gullet.
Yeah, those
Watch
idiots.
this.
That or
Watch
they
this.
fucking filmed like the Bracken Blackwood fight and just edited it out.
I guess you guys almost certainly did not see Kevin Costner's new self-financed Western epic Horizon: An American Saga Part 1. Am I correct?
I
That is
fell asleep
correct.
listening to you say that
Did
title.
not see Horizon An American Saga in the West Part 1.
Well, at the end of that movie, it is just a 3-minute montage of like Kevin Costner shooting and riding horses and all the other characters doing stuff. And it's very strange. When you're watching a movie in a theater and you get to a trailer for the next movie at the end, and it's like, this is just a mini series that you're calling a movie, right? So it was with that in mind that I was infuriated by the way this episode ends with all this. It's not quite the same because it's stuff happening. It's not stuff that's going to happen later, but it's still
more just like, here are the people on the board. This is where these are the different armies. This is where every character is at the end of the season.
Here's what you thought this was going to be.
It's so exciting. I'm not saying it's wonderful. I love what they're doing. I can't wait to see all that happen. But fuck, dude, I might not be alive. This is an election year.
That's true.
I'm upset.
Yeah.
I have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pushing 40 by the time season 3 comes.
You missed the last 2 episodes because you're back.
He's going to come in like Pycelle for season 3.
And I'm Andy. I thought season 3 was a ponderous tome.
We all just ate like 2 pounds of queso. Like
I'm not going to
our
make
arteries
it.
are clogged.
Andy brought a jar of liquid cheese as our afternoon snack for the pod. And
I
ate-
have cupcakes that we're going to eat to celebrate the studio.
those probably have listeria.
They definitely do.
Are those Boris head cupcakes?
No, they're Kroger cupcakes.
So yeah,
Even worse.
I'm just more mixed on this episode, but ultimately, again, it's just fear of entering the fandom later tonight, and just sadness about having to wait so long to see all the awesome stuff. But let's get into it beat by beat. When do you want to eat those celebratory cupcakes? What's the plan
Let's
there?
save them for the end.
Okay.
Let's eat them during Westerospection.
You know how to make sandwiches out of them? Is that your move? Do you know what I'm talking about?
What? No.
You don't know this? Yeah,
I
you
don't.
take the bottom of the cupcake off and you put it on top and you make a sandwich with the icing. And it's a much easier way to eat.
Erica, knife.
You don't need a knife.
Oh, what? You don't cut them?
You just yank it like a man.
What?
Yeah.
I love yanking it.
You got to man yank it, bro. Come on. Duh.
Man, yank it. All right, we're going to do this in real time.
I love yanking it. That's for later. That's our trailer for later.
Yeah.
The cupcake trailer.
What if we like pass out the cupcakes and then end the episode?
Right.
Just for everybody.
For telling.
To get a real
And we'll
feeling.
start next season with eating one.
Yeah.
You can go to patreon.com/streaming things and listen to us cover all of Game of Thrones. You can listen to us cover like recently True Romance.
Oh, yeah.
V for Vendetta. And whatever the poll for August is going to be. The patrons in the Discord have been very vocal about school movies that take place in or around a school.
Oh, that's a good idea.
They had a good list going.
That's a good idea.
I asked if Battle Royale counted.
That's such an incredible movie.
I just bought the 4K. Apparently,
shit,
Casey
that's
is
funny.
like nominating it for her chosen film. So
Okay.
we'll get it one day. Oh, we've also got Weekend at Bernie's coming soon. That's what won the poll last time.
Yep. Or the drawing.
The drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The drawing, as they would say in England. Okay, let's get into the meat of this episode. It opens with a monkey. When I was hyped, I was like, I like monkeys. Where's this going? It's not going very far.
Let me see that monkey.
Tywin Lannister, as you recall, has been sent by Prince Regent Aemond to Essos to negotiate with the Triarchy to get a fleet to break the blockade. And that's what he's there doing. For their payment, they want the Stepstones, which was the piece of the little rocky islands contested by Daemon and Corlys back in the day in season 1. It's the war that they were fighting, is to kick those people off of those islands because it's right by King's Landing. It's very strategic for trade to have that area there. So they want that, and they also want the ability to impose a tax on all trade from those islands,
which is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and remember the Triarchy is like an alliance between the free cities of Lycene, Tyrosh, and
it's Lys, Tyrosh, and Mir, I think.
And Mir.
Yeah, and they're always arguing and stuff too. So it's not a good situation. Tylan knows that, but he just wants the ships. So he's like, sure, whatever. But they're like, oh, and by the way, you need to get our admiral to agree to this. In our society, they can do whatever they want. And all of the men are fiercely loyal to this person. And she comes out. I guess it's she, Admiral Lohar, and calls him Tywin, which is really funny.
Yeah, there's this ongoing joke where every time they mention Tywin, they call him a different name. And if I'm being completely honest, when he first showed up, I wrote Tywin as well in my notes. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. His name is Tywin.
We all miss Charles Dance.
I just wrote Lannister because I didn't know.
And Lohar says, I'm not going to sail with anybody who cannot best me, and starts to walk out. And then Tywin says, whoa, at what?
At what? What are we talking about here? Because I probably can't beat you in like a game of football or something, but maybe like chess.
Goldeneye?
Chess?
Counting money?
Oh, Goldeneye 64? Well, it can't be odd job though.
Chops only.
Chops only.
Oh, that was a good move.
And then Lohar smiles and the scene ends. And then we see Aemond on Vhagar burning the city of Sharp Point in anger. It's basically like a tantrum that he's having.
Dude, that opening shot because it opens up with Vhagar.
Vhagar looks like a demon.
It looks such a cool shot.
It's such a Godzilla shot. Like Godzilla just did the atomic breath down like Mothra's throat or something. And then they cut to that. Da-na-na-na-na. Oh yeah. I forgot about that song. What movie is that from?
It's from Charlie's Angels.
That's
I think
right.
Full Throttle. I'm not sure. It's the Godzilla sample, guys. Everybody knows.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp.
Yeah. Bwomp, bwomp. Yeah. Vhagar looked like a demon, and I like that little bit of fire still in the throat. And she was such a bitch too. Vhagar's like, let me go back. There's a couple people alive there.
I want seconds. It's like when you put some Hot Pockets in the microwave and you pull them out and you're like, ooh, it's still cold in the middle. Let's go for more time in the microwave.
No. It's more like when you're at the buffet and you eat all the crab legs.
Okay, I'm in.
And you're just licking your fingers, you're stuffed, you're about to shit your pants.
Yeah,
and you look
always.
over and they're refilling the crab leg. And you're like, yeah, I'm going back. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here today.
You just tell everyone what happened here today.
Anyway, yeah. And we cut to Aegon. He's burnt to a crisp. He's starting to heal up a little bit. He wants a little bit of rum in
Why
his
is the
medicine.
rum gone?
Yeah, he wants a little bit of rum in there. And he tells Orwyle, you're a good man. And it's a really touching scene because, Orwyle doesn't get a lot of characterization, I would say. He doesn't get a lot of credit for just being he's just doing his best to serve the worst people.
He's a bro.
He's doing his best.
He's honestly probably the best politician in the show as well, because even though he's a maester, he's not like politicking for things, but he's really good at just like being under everyone's radar and being okay, like on everyone's good side.
Yeah.
Hello. Like, because there's that scene in the book that happened earlier where like he originally goes to Dragonstone and Rhaenyra like rips the chain off him and makes him piss his pants, and she's like, Gerardus is my dude. So like that would be cool if they kept that scene in the show, just to kind of show why Orwyle is so like good at like, I'm not doing that again. I'm being real sly and can you stay on everyone's good side because I don't like peeing the pants.
Yeah. Well,
look.
we know from Game of Thrones, like Pycelle doing the Usual Suspects move where he pretends to be a dotard,
Yeah.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled.
I need another hooker.
Maester Pycelle. The thing about kings is... Poor Aegon. He just wants some rum for his tum-tum.
I get it, man. I've been there. Sailor Jerry. Am I right? Shout out. Higher proof. And then Larys tells Aegon that they need to leave King's Landing. Hey, he reports that Rhaenyra has found more dragon riders. And I love how the conversation plays out because you think that he's saying you're in danger of these new dragons. We need to leave. And Aegon's like, it'll be fine. He's like, no. Your brother's going to kill you. He's angry. He's angry boy now. And he don't even like you anyway, right? And honestly, I'm not going to lie, Aegon, nobody likes you, dude. Zero, I don't like you. This is only for my benefit. Maybe I've gone too far. I just think you need to hear the truth. Megan's like, well, that hurts.
You put us together, we have 2 working feet. Let's get out of here.
Let's rattle these dags as best we can.
But I love how Aegon at first is like, oh, whatever, fine, we'll kill Aemon then because he's a betrayer.
He's so dumb.
And then Larys is like, yeah, but like then you got the Vhagar problem because who's going to ride Vhagar to fight the dragons and protect you? And he really lays it out for the guy. And like, hey man, I've saved some money. I hid it under my pillowcase. It's called the Iron Bank of Bravos.
I'm not going to go live with the goat fuckers. Look, I think we could learn to fuck goats, Aegon.
Hey, it's not that bad.
Have I told you about my cock?
That's not yet. I'm going to get there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, he seems to convince Aegon, right? The regent's going to kill you.
Aegon says that Sunfire is dead.
He says, my dragon is dead.
Yeah.
And my cock is destroyed. Well, we're going to talk about that in Westerospection.
Okay.
I feel like that's one of the many things.
That makes me so sad.
No.
I love that pretty golden boy.
Yeah.
And he says, my cock is destroyed. And this scene, I busted out laughing by myself and thought, oh, maybe I'm just a dick. And then watching it a second time, I'm like, no, this is hilarious.
It is so funny.
Especially given what we're used to with Varys. Have I told you about how I don't have a penis?
I know we're talking about the pleasantries of the weather, but I felt like I must interject and tell you about how I'm a eunuch. Would you like to know how it happened?
Which I get, but what's so funny about it is like that's how we would all be.
Oh, yeah.
Because Larys goes on a tirade after Aegon says, my cock is destroyed. It exploded like a sausage in a frying pan. And he's like, no, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to Essos. We can live like this. And in Prince Regent, and you're going to be Aegon the coolest, Aegon the dopest. And then the small folk will cheer your name. I can't even piss.
I don't know if you heard me.
My cock exploded, and not in the good way, not in a euphemistic way that implies ejaculation, an actual Michael Bay explosion. It's not there anymore.
Call it Orville Redenbacher because it popped. This corn has popped.
Yeah. I looked at Andy like, it's your turn, man.
No.
Make a wiener joke.
Andy's too empathetic. He's over there like shifting like, no.
That's crazy. Because you know how you're cooking breakfast sausage and the skin bursts?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying
This
happened.
line of dialogue, I will never have a burnt sausage and not think of Aegon's dick now for the rest of my life. Or like when you put like a hot dog in a microwave and it splits, like that's Aegon's dick.
But dude, he can pole vault. He'll be fine. You know?
He's not going to knock it over.
No.
Well, he's got other issues that prevent him from pole vaulting. But yeah, can't even piss. He just runs down his leg.
That hurdle is gone.
You got to think they don't have catheters or anything.
Yeah.
How's he going to navigate this?
That poor guy.
Maybe Orwell does. He's like, I got a trick up my sleeve.
It's so
I'm gonna put it
like
up your sleeve.
It's so weird because again, like Aegon is such a monstrous character. He's raped people. He has like all these bastard kids that fight in fighting pits and stuff. And he was this like,
I don't mind it.
This creature of avarice. I like it. He's just this creature of avarice, right? Who just like fucks and drinks and parties and all this stuff. And all of that's taken away from him now, in a way. So it's like really an interesting thing narratively to do to a character like that, to really just like rip all that away from them and see how's this guy going to handle that?
They're hitting him with the Theon treatment.
Yeah.
The humbling of Reek has been.
Orwell's just eating a sausage in front of him.
Oh, it's just bad timing. You want some?
No, I think honestly, this might be a hot take, but
hot D take.
What they've done,
too hot D to handle.
What they've done with the character of Aegon II is perhaps the best thing that they've done in season 2, which is wild.
I don't think that's a hot take at all. Like the writing of that character mixed with Tom Glencarney's performance is like one of the greatest things to come out. It is maybe the greatest thing to come out of this.
Like
season.
I'm a Rhaenyra stan until I die, and I love the roguishness of Daemon. But I do think they fumbled what people love about both of those characters this season, somewhat. But Aegon, out of nowhere, becomes this fascinating person to watch with an arc, and like you said, inspires so much empathy, which doesn't deserve. But that's the beauty of humanity, right? We give it freely, not to only to those who deserve it. But there's this funny bit where he's like, you're going to be Aegon the awesome, Aegon the dickless. Hopefully not. And Aegon's like, Aegon, the realm's delight. It's like,
That one's taken.
You can't do that. That's already a thing. What if he said, God damn it. So dumb.
This kid's such a fucking idiot.
What if he was like Aegon the Conqueror?
No. I really thought there was gonna be I honest to God thought the dramatic beat was gonna be him going, Aegon the Magnanimous. Going back to that.
One of his bros pops in. Yes, yeah, boy. They're on the wall. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Two of them are.
Pinching butts.
One of them's in the ground.
It's true. He's dead.
Yeah.
We cut to Rhaena, who has been wandering the Vale.
Rhaena drinks some water. Next scene.
Yeah, let's just go through all of her appearances in this episode real quick. It'll take a second. So I guess they're implying she's been out there for days and days and days, right? Because she's got split boots. She's really thirsty. She's covered in grit. So she's just been wandering the Vale, hopefully not running into any marauding bands.
Shaga and Timit and Dolph.
Would be Dolph instead of Ulf, son of Dolph. Yeah, she's just been running around looking for that dragon, which we surmise is the dragon from the books named Sheep Stealer. It has to be, right?
Yeah. I would
What if it's cannibal?
God, Sheep Stealer looks so cool.
It's real raggedy.
No.
Real scary.
I love how the spine
I wish it had eaten her after all of that wandering. Oh my God.
the sheep.
I only like sheep.
Yeah.
It's very particular. I thought it was a sheep.
Yeah. I love how the funny thing about this is that because last time we saw her, she was trailing behind the company of people I assume to take the party to the ship, the gay abandoned, to go to Essos. And then she just sneaks off. So I like to think one of the guards hey.
Yeah, they had to have, the way it's filmed is that she snuck off.
Yeah.
And so they just got to the boat and they were like, shit.
All right, everyone, head count 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute.
Where's the babysitter?
Where's the taller one?
And I also, it's funny. We'll talk about this in Westerospection, but this storyline kind of pisses me off too. It might be cool, but it's if your queen says, hey, I know you've got a character arc. You've got this, what we call main character energy. However, what I'd really like you to do is make sure my kids don't die in this crazy hostile land I'm sending them to.
Please and thank you.
Yeah, just maybe they also need to learn how to read and be entertained, but just in general, make sure they don't die. No. I'm going to run off in the woods.
I'm going to go on an adventure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is your queen. And you were just not going to do it.
No.
Hope your kids are okay. Oh, I found a dragon. I hope if she gets that dragon and she shows up to Rhaenyra, she's going to be all haughty, who's a dragon rider now,
How
bitch?
you like me now?
Please let Rhaenyra say, where are my children? Ow,
shit.
I'm sure they're fine.
Fucking Lady Erin, though, she's just get out of here. Right? She's just doesn't want nothing to do with them.
I mean, it was their time. They were only waiting there
Yeah.
until they got permission to go to Essos.
I mean, she's just such a bitch about it.
No.
Did you see the stank on her in her eyes?
Lady,
when
that was
Sarah-
that was the determination. That was a go get that dragon, girl.
Yeah, I think Lady Erin, the subtext was her go get it, go get that dragon.
We are strong
Oh,
women.
you think that's
We
what
want
it
to get
was?
because she
Yeah,
wants
for sure.
a dragon in the Vale. She wants an actual fighting dragon in the Vale, not this little baby dragon in the hatchlings.
Okay. I didn't read it that way.
I think she was go get it, girl.
Encouraging her.
Let me,
Yeah.
let me
Okay.
put
The
up,
kids will be fine.
let me put on my dope ass gold cloak veil and turn around.
That was a really fire cloak.
I hope.
the veil of the veil.
Hopefully, when I turn around, you don't go sneaking off and find that dragon.
Wink. Wink.
Okay.
He likes
You
shape.
convinced me.
Giving her tips on how to win its heart. Okay.
Its name.
So that's Rhaena this entire episode. We cut to Ulf, he's Ulf the Sot, right? He likes to party. He's got his feet up on the great
he's
table.
Ulf is rocker.
He's being super shitty to Jace. He's like, shut up, boy. Ulf, that's the prince. And he's like, oh my goodness. Imagine seeing you here.
Let him
He
tell
lives
us.
here.
Let him tell us we don't have any Targaryen blood, eh?
Huh? Cut from the same
That's
cloth.
the one thing I'm really concerned about.
Yeah.
Look at that ass. It's a fucking
It
fire.
ruffles him.
Yeah.
Where's your little brother? Like just saying all the worst things. You ever think it's weird your mum fucks her uncle? Where's the little birds at?
Where's your dad at? Your real one. Oh, he died in a fire. Oh, shit. What about your fake dad? Oh.
Also a fire.
Oh, that guy's riding him.
That's true. He thinks both his dads died in a fire.
Oh God.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, he pisses Jace off something fierce, and he's doesn't learn his lesson at all. We find out a few short scenes later, but he seems to be apologetic in this moment.
I like the characterization of Hugh, like how he's like, "Come on, Ulf, we gotta go train.
Yeah,
we're supposed to go learn how to drive.
You're making me look bad.
You're making me look
new
bad
friends.
in front of the prince."
My kid died. And now I'm riding dragons.
Bit of a step up, honestly.
I don't know where my wife is.
It's like Ulf's like, wow, we've been on a journey, huh? Like I was a drunk guy, and now I'm a dragon. Like, yeah, my kid died, my wife left me.
Yeah.
My life is general shit.
Thank goodness she's safe in Tumbleton.
Yeah.
I have a really sick beard though, so it's pretty cool.
I had a really weird character arc where early in the season I was like, man, only shitbirds would punch people for food when rioting happens. That's a terrible thing. And then I did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, feel pretty good.
I was hungry. Turns out I was really hungry.
I forgot about that.
Rhaenyra is talking with Corlys, and this is what we alluded to earlier. She's talking about how she has doubts. I'm glad I have the writers, but I don't know those people. And honestly, one of them is always doing blow off people's buttholes and acting really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know that I trust that guy. But Adam seems cool. You know him, right? And Corlys says, I've had little to do with him, to my regret. And Rhaenyra is like, I'm not going to unpack that at all. Don't care.
Cool. No follow-up questions.
And she's like, I'm hoping that the mere fact of them might deter violence from the Greens. And Corlys is like, you cannot be fucking
Did you
serious.
fucking say deterrence?
You must strike, your grace.
Yeah, because she totally kind of blows off like, Darren, whatever. Who cares? Who cares about Darren? And Helena, she doesn't ride shit. Dreamfire, who might as well be a vacant dragon.
Yeah, you can't win a war without a little bit of war, turns out. And Corlys is over the bull. I can't believe that she still wavers at all, but I'm glad that it's just kind of quickly pushed aside in this episode. They do still have Tessarion and Dreamfire. And I like the mention of, he's about to, his ship's almost fully repaired. He's renamed it the Queen Who Never Was in honor of Rhaenys instead of the Sea Snake after his dick. And, but I love that he says, whether it be Lannister or Greyjoy, nobody will, stand before the fleet, because those are the only two other houses in the Seven Kingdom that have boats.
Big fleets.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there's a secret third option coming his way.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to Daemon, who is with his giant army of the River Lords. And there's this little bit about how they're going to feed Caraxes pigs instead of sheep. Caraxes prefers pigs.
I love that quick little aside.
I know. Like Steve, I saw him typing furiously. The fact that he knows now the lore of Caraxes' favorite food tickled Steve to death, I
Yes.
bet.
Any little information I can get, like what's his favorite kind of pig?
We're
Does he
eating
like his bacon?
Pig
butt,
snacks
pork
from
butt?
now on.
All of it, I would assume he's a dragon. He just eats the whole ass pig.
What time of day does he eat? Like I need to know these things.
How
My
often do
big
they eat?
red noodly boy. I want to know more.
Are they creatures with incredibly slow digestion and they eat like once a week?
Yeah, how thick are the movements? The bowel movements. I want to know.
How thick? DHICCPOO. Sir Alfred finally shows up. Damon gives a little chuckle when Simon reports who it is. Interesting.
Tool.
And he wants to immediately speak treason in private, right? Which upsets me. And you didn't kill him. And that's all I wanted. A little bit of fan service, a little bit of pandering would have been wonderful if you'd have just killed him. He can keep his tongue. Just say that again.
I wonder, like, in this moment when he's like, yo, I think, like, I love the Targaryens. I love Viserys. Rhaenyra's pretty cool, but, like, I'm sexist as fuck, dude. Like, I want to give my sword to you. I think in this moment, Daemon's still like, all right, I'm down.
A little, yeah.
I'm cool with it. Because later on in the episode, when he has this change of heart and he talks to Rhaenyra, you can even see Alfred Broom like peace out, like he leaves. Like everyone else is like kneeling, and Broom's like bye, because he knows that Daemon knows that he
I did a
suggested
treason.
slight treason.
Do you see him wander out? Okay, that's good to know.
I did a
I don't know
treason.
if you see him like leave the room completely, but as everyone's bowing, he's like pushing everyone to walk like away from everyone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have to bow movement. Sorry, guys.
It's a thick one.
Had some pig earlier.
Oh, that wasn't for me. Oops. Now I'm doubly doomed.
The joke, it's not really a joke, but it landed for me where they go out there to talk treason and Alfred's like, did you fucking hear that? It's really creepy out here. And then Damon's just like, oh, this place will have you barking at the moon. Which is a sick Black Sabbath reference.
This place is fucking weird.
What if they start playing that? Yeah. Bark at the moon. Yeah, pretty upset with you, Alfred. She trusted you. She even when she sent you off, and I'm talking to you, Alfred, she said something like
Deterrence. And
I know
he's like,
you're-
oh my God.
she said, like, I know you're a dick, but you're super loyal. That's the one thing you have.
Yeah.
Everything else about you sucks. And he's like, that's fair. And the first thing he does when he gets there, treason. I've been thinking about it the whole ride over
the
here.
whole time.
I fucking hate women. Galloping.
You know, as I was riding, I thought, you know what's so, I had such a good time riding up here. You know, I think I had the realization of why. There were no women on this trip. And it got me thinking, maybe the problem is me.
When it comes to royalty, no girls allowed. Am I right? Am I right, D?
Simon, get in on this.
Yeah, Simon's over there watching, and he is not too pleased about this.
I love Simon so much.
Miss Girls.
Every scene, you could just pluck Simon out of this show, put him in any show, and just cut away to him whenever anything crazy happens. I love it.
Yes.
Oh my.
Simon Strong.
He's watching this show happen with us.
Simon Strong is a top 3 character in this season.
Yes.
For
He's
sure.
amazing.
Which is wild.
I blew my mind. I realized this week that the actor who plays Simon plays Beria in Death of Stalin, which is like the complete opposite of Simon Strong. He's like this creepy pedophile, secret police murderer person in that movie.
That is the opposite, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Isn't
when
that movie a comedy?
it is. It's a dark comedy.
Very dark comedy.
And Brie is a creepy real life character. But when I realized like that was the same actor, like, whoa, that actor's incredible because I never would have thought
I might
that
watch
was him.
that tonight.
It's a great movie.
That'd be a plot twist.
It's very prescient for today as well.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
We cut to Aemond, who's being told about how the new dragon riders were found by Rhaenyra. And he's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. You know how the small folk are only eating fish and have been for months and they're very sick of fish, but at least they're not dead. Let's stop allowing the fishing boats out
No more fish.
and we'll be good. And Ironrod is not happy about that decision, right? Like, hey, that's not going to be good. And he's like, yeah, they'll be all right. Sacrifices have to be made as he goes to eat a giant banquet dinner, right? So even though he's not quite as dumb as Aegon or in the same way, he's not a good ruler. He's not fit for this. He's not making good decisions.
He just like has tunnel vision. You know what I mean? He's like, it's fine. It's fine.
This is why we
Where-
have to rise up against the one-eyed percent.
I was going to say tunnel vision,
The
Andy?
1%.
Were you doing a jokey? Because that's not cool, man.
Oh.
You're saying he doesn't have very much depth of sight?
Yeah. But, poor dude.
Ironrod's not happy. We cut to Helena. She's talking to her mother, Allison, asking, why are the small folk so unhappy?
Let them eat cake.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I understand so much more than anyone else in this world, but yet I don't get this.
But yeah, Helena is, asking why, why does everybody hate us? And Allison was like, they're unhappy and unhappy. I can't say it without laughing. Unhappy people look for people to hate. And she's not wrong. And
They hate us because they ain't us.
But it's also
Yep.
really funny because she's caused so much of that. And maybe indirectly, but still.
Allison still looks at the mirror like, why is everyone upset at me?
I like to think that Helena is very wise and was just like seeing what she would say. And
She's
like,
offering her mother the chance to admit anything. Like, failed again. Failed again today.
but she says, I was happier before I was queen. And I do love that line because so was Alicent, right? Yeah. And I think that hits her hard, especially after her glamping trip where she had all those revelations. And she's like, you want to just get out of here? Girl.
You want to just go?
And
Let's just go.
Let's get into the woods.
Helena, I saw on the second time, I noticed she has the tiniest smile at the thought. And she's just like, where would we go?
Where would we go?
You know what I mean?
Anywhere?
And then right at that moment is when Aemond comes in. I need you to do some war. It's the opposite, in fact, of what you were just talking about. I need you to murder.
Quit being happy.
I need you to rain down hellfire. And Alicent's like, no, she's not going to do that. Of all our line, she is the gentlest and most deserving of your protection.
And he says, where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah.
Quit sneaking up on my left side.
Exactly. Yeah, she's absolutely forbids him to make Helena fly Dreamfire to battle. That is a ridiculous notion, right? And then so Alicent goes to Orwyle for another favor for
He's like,
passage and
fucking again.
I know. And his discretion.
He just hands her a bottle. No.
I don't want no, please. No, please.
You know what? Orwyle is a good dude, and I don't think things are boding well for him.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's too good.
It's giving
too good
he's
for
about
this
to
world.
retire.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
This is his last day on the force, is what I'm hearing.
Right.
When they're complimenting him in this episode.
People that good don't last long in this world.
Yeah.
Kristen Cole is
Sniffing panties.
my note is sniffing Alicent's rag.
Oh, that's even worse. You're not wrong, but the way you say that.
I'm just reading. But I wrote it, but and her brother Gawain, this is a funny scene. Again, it's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. If you just don't think too much about like the setup and you just look at the beauty and the artifice, it's great. Because like this scene is great, but it's so silly that after all the battles and stuff, suddenly Gawain's like, I've been stewing about you fucking my sister. And you sniffing that rag is a bridge too far.
Now I have the proof.
Oh,
I know. Like, what?
Do you think I wouldn't? I don't know if he's been stewing about it. Maybe he just saw Alicent's rag and was like, "Oh, son of a bitch, what?" Like maybe
He
that's
saw
what
him give it to her, or he saw her give it to him.
That's true.
In
That's
the
true. I forgot about
courtyard,
that.
and he kind of frowned. And now he's like, you know what? I'm bored.
We've been out in the woods.
And you, sir, of renowned swordsmanship, how about you?
How about you, sir?
Well, when Cole does pick up his sword, he like has a little step back.
Yeah, he's like,
It was way cooler when you didn't have that sword.
put it back down. I just want to talk.
I wasn't done talking.
I have the talking stick. Yeah, he's like, hey, that's my sister, dude. And Cole is not contrite, perhaps, but very forthcoming and sad boy. He's so emo at this point.
Very emo.
I do love this.
What's it all even mean, man?
Yeah. He's over there smoking a joint.
What's
like,
the point
look,
of it all?
the dragons fucked him up. You know,
Yeah.
the last vestige that he was holding on to of reality has been shattered by this notion that he really can't do much in this world, you know, in this world of dragons.
He as a character has always been someone who's sort of like had a lot of self-loathing because of, he holds himself in such high esteem and yet he breaks his oaths all the time in a way that I don't think like in a normal world you should like feel angry. Like dude, you love someone, you're allowed to have passion, but because of the world he's in, breaking an oath and having passion with especially the queen is a death sentence, right? So he's always been this like interesting character in that regard. So it's kind of sad to see, like in a way, like it's Crispin Cole, fuck him, I hate him, right? But it's kind of sad to see him like, whatever, we're marching towards our annihilation. To die, isn't that kind of a relief? Like just
Dude, he has that baller line, the dragons dance and men are dust under their wings. Is that what he says?
It's so poetic. Yeah.
It's fire.
She saved my life twice, once from the headsman's axe and once from myself. She has been like a beacon to me. And I love that that's their sigil and that's what gets Gawain to like calm down.
Gawain's like, oh,
I'd love beacons.
beacon, bro,
With green fire.
I don't know if you know this, but like, I love beacons.
My favorite.
I'm Gawain.
My favorite part.
That really took me.
I know who you are.
Oh, dude. My favorite part of Lord of the Rings is when the beacons are lit.
Bro, change my life. I'm Gawain.
Remember? I'm an important character. And Kristen Cole, this is funny, but also profound. I took it both ways. He said, perhaps all men are corrupt and true honor is a mist that melts in the morning. And on the one hand, it's funny because it's like, no, not everybody keeps fucking everybody and screwing everything up, right? But at the same time, it does feel that way. Mm-hmm. You know, we've all wronged in small ways and big and throughout our lives. And I think in my darkest moments, it has occurred to me like, is everybody just full of shit? Or am I? Because those are the two options you're faced with in those dark moments. Either I am a piece of shit or everyone is full of shit, right? And of course, that's a false equivalency and a false dichotomy. But still, I get where Cole's coming from in this moment.
Yeah.
And then he says, like you said, to die will be a kind of relief, don't you think? And it's funny because at first you think Gwen's like, oh, I don't think I should be following you if you're just trying to die. But given what little backstory we were given about Gwen, I think he's kind of like, yeah, it would.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of sits with him like, I guess we'll just polish our swords together, bro.
You want to listen to cursive?
Do you like the shins?
Did you ever play the emo game online?
I like Weezer, but only say it ain't so.
And then Cole's like, I like El Scorcho. El Scorcho. But now I can't listen to it anymore.
Oh,
because of the dragons, I can't listen to El Scorcho anymore. It's terrible.
We cut to Thailand, who's mud wrestling with Lohar. I got you for 3 minutes. And Thailand lays the smackdown, literally. And that makes everybody happy. And Lohar says, I'll consider, giving you my fleet after dinner, right? We cut to...
Because I thought Lohar would be like, okay, you win this round, the mud wrestling round. Next round is the wet t-shirt contest. The round after that is the jello shot contest. Run spring break!
It became MTV.
The lighter's just gone wild.
He's got a bunch of beads around.
Carson Daly shows up. It was a sick TRL reference. We cut to Bela, who gives Jace shit for pouting. And this scene was so meta to me because all of the memes all season about how pouty that actor just looks in general. He's like, he's got that very like mewing is what the kids call it face, just like a really strong jawline and full lips. And he is pouting his ass off right now, right? Like it's so clear. I'm just reading. And he's still upset about the bastards riding dragons, right? Any common lout can claim a dragon. And she's like, you're being a real bitch right now, right? You think you're the first bastard of a noble person?
Man, nobody reads Infinite Jest.
What are you doing right now? Prove to them that you are worthy. Take your place by your queen's side.
Hell yeah, Bela.
Yeah.
Bela just shows up and just tells men the truth. Like, why are you pouting? Quit it. Bela's got it all figured out.
I am fire and blood. And you are salt and sea.
Yeah, the
Jason's
salt
like,
is your
what?
tears. Little baby.
And we cut back to Thailand, who's singing karaoke in the second challenge. And he passes that as well. They call him Lord Tyrod, which is hilarious.
Was the meal that they focus on in the opening shot, was that a like a Jello cake, or was that octopus upside down?
It was octopus.
Upside down?
Yeah.
Upside down octopus
It's better
cake?
upside down.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like pineapple.
upside down octopus cake.
And she, they say, I'll sail with you to the gullet on the morrow. And he's like, yeah.
To friendship.
And then he gives
I love how he does the friendship, and I was like, okay, all right.
And then he gives the old, all right, I'm going to head out. And, but at first, Lohar is like, no. I want you to fuck all my wives. And he's like, how many?
Wait, how many wives do you have?
Limit me at 3. I'm tired.
Get me some Gatorade. Maybe a couple more.
More of that octopus. We cut to Rhaenyra, who's at dinner with all of the dragon seeds, and as well as Jace and Bela. And the Kingsguard cock block is in the background there. And Ulf the Sot is living up to his name. Give me some more of these little birds. He's completely He has no couth, right?
No, he's
Zero
relishing.
couth.
He's relishing this
Taming
new
the
station.
dragon's thirsty work.
He just likes to party, right?
More these little birds. I want wings.
Rhaenyra offers
Put
them.
some Parmesan garlic
Yeah,
on
they're
them.
at like B-dubs.
Got any cheese curds?
I want to do the challenge.
I said all flats.
I want to do the challenge.
Excuse me, where do I put my rewards membership card? And I need to get the points.
And Rhaenyra offers them all a knighthood. And he's like, knighthood. You hear that? Just like that. And she's like, as long as you comport yourselves with fealty and respect, right? You've given a power few have known. And then she gives the whole, we must strike speech. I love that moment where she's like, I had thought it would deter them. And Jace looks at her like, no.
Don't even.
She's like, but. By the way,
Hear me out, Jace.
her costume, fire. She's got those like dragon
what?
head shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Dude, the costume department's always killing it in this show.
Money, baby. And then I hated too, like Bela and Hugh do the same thing. Kill people. Well, I didn't sign up for killing people.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of rolling my eyes like, guys.
Well, I think they're worried about
Guys.
killing innocent people.
Sure.
That qualifier, I think, is.
What does it even mean? Who's innocent?
Yeah, we just
back-
had
I'm
that
with
whole
Cole.
scene. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are riding coal pole now? I see how it is.
Metaphorically, maybe.
It'll be a relief for them, Steve.
And then Ulf's like, let me at him. Silverwing's a goer. She is.
She is.
We're not afraid of nothing.
I love how quickly Ulf is just bonded with Silverwing. Like, Silverwing's his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
She's the greatest gal I know.
And then Rhaenyra chastises him and is like, look, quit chewing with your mouth open and shut the fuck up. You will carry yourself like a knight at the queen's table. And he said, best make me a knight then. Like, I'm not a knight technically yet, so I will eat like this.
Dang.
How about that?
The balls on that guy.
And you can see Kingsguard Cockblock's about to draw his sword. Like, everybody's getting upset. But Jace is the one that's like, friend. He kind of like, lowers the temperature in the room. And Ulf's like, sense of humor. Do you look good? And
we ain't friends.
And Maester Gerardus comes in with a message from Harrenhal from the Castellan, Simon Strong, that Daemon has an army, but he fears treachery is afoot. And Rhaenyra is like, I will not allow it. Adam, the hot one, come with me.
Come with me.
No reason other than that.
Ulf the Salt and Adam the Hot.
That's right. And then he finally gets his birds as they're leaving.
More birds.
Got the wings.
He literally just says birds.
Finally got them.
I want drums. Drums and flats.
Miss birds. This episode of Streaming Things is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
Steve, there's something I need to get off my chest.
What's that, fella?
It's been weighing on me. You know that I resigned at the day job recently, right? And I've been a little scared. There's a family to worry about. There's health insurance. There's capitalism.
Sounds like a stressful time.
But we all carry around different stressors, big and small. And it feels better when you bring something to the light and keep them bottled up. It can start to affect us negatively. And therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. In my case, it's all of the stress, the misery, the fear. But I had to come over here and share that with you, and I felt better. That's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
Unloading all that on you and Erica and feeling better myself.
That sounds like my Friday night.
Sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you're not vibing, that's completely fine. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/streamingthings to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/streamingthings.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You've made it to July of 2024, and it's time to give thanks to the Streaming Things super patrons for the month of July. That's right, these people are keeping the lights on every single day, along with all the other patrons that we have, but these guys get a special shout out. And let's begin with Albus Stinkpot, Dylan Dunkley, Maddlestat, Susie Callahan, Anthony Corona, Parmesan, Sunshine, Ashley Hazen, Just Liz Calabria, or the Justice Colossus Lizard, Mike from New Hampshire, Brett X, Emily Scarano, Lil Tickler, Svento7, Jay Scramo, Lothpum, AK Ashley Ray, Adam Busby, Wendy O'Laughlin, Big Butthorn, Conrad, Jer Latanowicz, Kaylee Sampson, Rabbit Dog in a Barbie Car, Elpander, Charlie Friday, Alexis Adler, Peaches, Emmy, Haley B, Joe Velez, Stanton Valentino, John Collins, Trisha Bueller, Sun-Loving Mortal, Suzanne Rode, Jen Robinson, Kalisha Reeves, Paula Garcia, Miranda Bren, Aaron Armstrong, Kevin Strother, Ashley Powers, Stephen the Fifth, Casey McCain, and of course, Enza. Thank you all so much for supporting Streaming Things, and let's get back to that episode.
And then we cut to Alice in Damon's room while he's sleeping. And they've done this over the last couple of episodes. One thing I love about how things are progressing right now is that he's never surprised anymore.
Yeah.
Sup?
He's always just like, hello.
Hello.
Do you know the sleep, woman? You know? And he's like, all right, I guess I'm following you since you.
I mean, I plan on getting 8 hours of sleep, but I guess.
And he sees like a demon in the Godswood. That was kind of weird. What was that?
What was that
Did you get a good look at it?
Goat man.
It was a goat. It was like a
Looked like a goat man, like a fawn thing.
a fawn thing.
Was it the goat, like the manifestation of the goat we've seen all season?
That's why he's the goat. The goat. So it was just Simon Strong.
Ooh,
Because he's the goat.
is Simon Strong a skin changer?
He's just the goat.
Be awesome if that was Simon.
And she's like, he dresses up like that and runs around. I used to be alone in this castle.
Now there's a lot of people.
I could do this. Now it's awkward. And she like remarks on his change of character, right? Like when you first got here, you were a closed fist. And, you know, you've discovered, I think that this world will not be governed. And she's like, hey, I'll show you your whole future. I'm going to do magic stuff. Do you believe me? And he's like, I'm no longer inclined to scoff. Love that. No longer inclined to. And she's like, good, goody for you. Touch my tree sap.
Yeah, that was a visceral thing to watch him put his hand in the weirwood tree sap, because tree sap is one of the grossest things to put your hands in because it's so sticky.
Never comes off. Yeah.
And that's bloody sticky.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see some fire shit.
Do you wish then to learn what is given to you? And we see his future. There's a three-eyed raven, some stuff from Game of Thrones. We see the others. We see Daenerys. We see Rhaenyra sitting on the throne. Daemon seeming to drown in water. And then Helena is in there. And I thought that was kind of beautifully done because they've just kind of hinted that she's a dreamer, that she has some kind of foresight into the future, a green seer of some kind, all throughout and that's not in the books at all. And now to have her in his weirwood tree vision just kind of brings it all together.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of them doing this with Helena's character, like making her just a part of this more mystical side of the show, and she's always kind of known really what was happening. I love that they're bringing her more to the forefront in the story, because in the book, Helena's always was kind of like a background. Oh, she's torched.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the torched girl.
Are you torched?
Great John Umber. So I'm a huge fan of what they're doing with Helena right now.
Yeah, agreed. And essentially, Helena looks at Daemon and goes, "You're not the main character. You have main character energy. We've been going over this. You're not an NPC, but I don't play video games."
Well, I like Rocket League.
And then and Helena's like, "You know what you must do."
Okay, you're not the ball.
Like Rocket League. Why would that be the game Daemon would play? I could never get the cars to do anything.
I'm always on a team with a bunch of losers who don't know how to play.
I watch them on YouTube and they're flying through the air. I don't know how to do it.
It's frustrating.
You have to defend the goal. No one defends the goal.
I played Fortnite, but everybody's camping.
Camping.
And we cut to Aemond. And I love this, like it cuts from like Helena to Helena. You know what I mean? Like as though she was like
fire.
And she's on the balcony, like looking off toward Harrenhal. So it's almost like if they had showed
she's in the dream talking.
Yeah.
You know?
If they like had shown her front, she would have had her eyes rolled back.
Yeah.
And just been going blah, 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 or something. Whatever you do to travel mystically. And Aemond's like, look, you're going to fight. I don't know what we were talking about earlier. You're definitely going to do that. And she's like, or what? Will you burn me as you did Aegon? And he's like, wait, what? I didn't,
I didn't do that, girl.
That's crazy. And she's like,
saw it.
Ooh, I saw it. Can't argue with that.
I seen it.
And then she says, Aegon will, I seen it. Aegon will be king again. And I seen you. He sits on a wooden throne and you'll be dead. You were swallowed up in the god's eye. And Aemon, that little tear, he's got some tear in his eye.
Yeah.
And
I don't have an eye.
I'll kill you.
Did you say I?
I'll kill you. I'll thong you.
I phone you.
And she's like, it wouldn't change a thing.
Ooh.
She says you were swallowed up. It's past tense. It's fire.
Yeah, because I seen it.
Saint it. Saint the future.
She's like, I got screeners for the show.
He got wooden throne. I don't know what happened to the other one with the swords.
On the vision that Eamon's looking at, it just says at Helena as a watermark.
Helena69 at gmail.com. Bugs are cool. 420.
We see Cyrax and Sea Smoke flying to Harrenhal.
Cyrax is so happy to see his buddy.
In a sleepy-
I'm sorry, Craxus is so happy to see his buddy.
Did he look happy to you?
He was like, buddy, Cyrax, my dude.
I think he was like, nah, you guys you here to do mischief?
This place fucking sucks. Get me out of here.
Get me out of here. Damon won't leave. It's spooky haunted. There's a goat man that keeps poking me while I'm sleeping at night. It's weird.
I think my dad's gone crazy.
He's crazy.
He's just singing Eminem. Armies of tents are outside. All the river lords are there. Simon greets her as the Castellan. He's like, I am loyal to you always. And I don't know about everybody in here, just saying. And he walks her in there. I don't understand this scene because he's like, I was right to fear their disloyalty. Check this out. And then he opens the doors and it's just everyone in there waiting to be sent out. It's like there's no evidence of treachery there.
Well, I think the evidence that could be is when she walks in, it takes a really long time for everyone to like even acknowledge her, because usually if she was the queen, it would open up and be like, oh, my queen, and they'd bow, but everyone's just kind of like, what's this girl doing in here?
She's here.
There's a blonde girl here. You lost, miss.
No girls allowed. Alfred told us.
You looking for the privy?
I'll take some little birds, please.
Damon approaches.
And then Rhaenyra's like, I have 3 questions to ask you. First, how dare you? Second, what gives you the right? And third, who do you think you are?
That's right. And he says, look, they're all sworn to me. It's going great. And then she backs up and for all to hear says, and to whom are you sworn? And that could have gone against her, you know?
Could have.
I love that Cyrax is upstairs there, like looking down, because he could melt all of them pretty easily. No funny business. That's what the dragon says.
Cyrax is like a mobster. From the no funny business. Spats, get him.
I'm going to clamp him, boss.
We're going to put the screws to you.
What an asshole.
It's me, Cyrax.
And then in Valyrian, Damon says, I kind of hate this, guys. I like the idea of it, but the specific 3 words, winter is coming. And I'm glad they put it in Valyrian because it was like less cringe, you know?
Yeah.
Targaryens don't say that, you know? They say it's getting cold soon. Or I saw like a zombie thing.
Yeah.
You know? They don't say winter's coming. But, you know, it's for the fans.
But isn't winter is coming is explicitly talking about the oncoming the long night
is
coming back?
Yeah.
Like that's what those words are referencing is the long night returning, right?
But only to the Starks. Winter is coming is like the idea that we should not celebrate ever too soon, that we should always be wary, that we should stock food, right?
Right, but I feel like that
Be
phrase
pragmatic.
also has like if you know that story, which I assume most people know the story of the long night, at least in theory. Like he would be like, "Hey, remember that cool thing?"
That's never how I took it. I don't think it's like what would be the equivalent in our age. I don't think it's like.
Oh no. I almost said some Westboro shit. Because that's true. That is the equivalent in our age, but
the Baptist church, is that what you were saying?
the Westboro specifically.
Okay.
People go to hell.
No, I was thinking more of a common to be a direct analogy to what Steve was saying.
I thought we were trying to find the equivalence of
no, because Steve is saying it's a common euphemism.
No, I'm not saying it's a common use. I'm saying that like the story behind those words, people like know the long night, and so like winter has a connotation to the end times.
I guess, but the whole notion is that Viserys is the only one that ever talks about this prophecy, right? And
sure,
the long night happened 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, but it's like a story that old Nans tell.
Old Nan's a crazy bitch.
Old Nan's everywhere. Old Nan's everywhere.
I don't know. I mean, obviously,
that's a good question. Is it like a well-known thing that people are like, oh yeah, someday the world's going to end and it's going to be?
No, I'm not saying the prophecy is a well-known thing. I'm saying the story of the original long night is well-known, so people know what that is.
Steve's saying it's believable that Daemon would say winter is coming. And that also happens to be the Stark words. And I disagree.
Well,
I think it's purely just, you guys remember Game of Thrones? Because we showed you the zombies over here.
We see it a little bit.
What they're doing, yeah.
We see it a little bit in Game of Thrones. Like other houses say, like, the Starks are always right. Winter is coming. Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I feel like it's a known thing to say. And like he knows
it is known.
Yeah,
he's known.
He knows the Starks. He's had his butt pinched once or twice.
What if he was like, you know nothing, Rhaenyra? They just start pulling out all the old.
You know nothing, Daemon Targaryen.
Go spaghettis.
A Daemon always pays his debts, and he bows.
And so we spoke. Start singing the Reigns of Castamere.
So he hits her with that, and she's like, "You sound like my father, right? Who's awkwardly your brother." Let's not get into that.
Table that for later.
And he says, look, shit's popping off. We're not going to be prepared, but somehow we have to be. It's epic. I saw it. Alice, you'll meet Alice later. She's cool. My brother chose you to be that warrior, right? And then he bows to her, and it's an epic moment.
You are the true queen.
Everyone bows to her except maybe Sir Alfred. And then she stands up and she stands him up and says, "Leave me again at your peril," right? And he's like, I tried. And then he does, two things happen that I think are interesting. Obviously the Braveheart speech, but right before that, it looked like he was going to kiss her, and she
or do the head bump that they do.
Yeah.
She turned away
up to her with his head down.
You're shorter than me. Need you to know it.
But he saved it because she kind of rejects it, and he does like, "Oh, hey, everybody!"
Yeah, I was going to do the speech the whole time.
Yeah,
you gotta recover quickly.
Wasn't going to bump noggins with
like
her.
when you try to dap somebody and they leave you hanging, you have to just like clap, or stretch maybe. Yep. And then he gives his little Braveheart speech. It's pretty cool.
We fight for our queen.
Yeah, we just met her.
Who is she?
Is that who that is?
Oh shit, she's cool. She is a delight.
How delightful.
Hope no one takes that. I love it. I love in the background, like out of focus, you can see Simon Strong doing a slow clap.
He's like, "Oh yay,
yay!"
I'm so happy there's no drama.
I did a good thing. I brought families together.
Who wants peas?
Peas all around.
Let's go sit at my table. It's all I do. Alan and Corlys talk in the next scene. And he's like, "Look, man, I just want to be on good terms with my first mate." And Alan's like, "Am I not doing my job?" He's like, "You are, but you've got bad vibes.
You're a real stick in the mud.
You're grumpy about it. And I want you to do it with smiling. You are curt, right? And you cannot lead if you do not inspire." And Alan's like, "Well, I didn't want to lead." Right. And he tries to like, just, all right, you're dismissed. Right. And Alan's like, "Hold up. You want to help me?" Right. And then he finally unloads on Corlys. He's like, "Do you know what hunger does to a boy, or grief or shame?" And he just lays into him like, "I've known you were my father my entire life. The entire time I've grown up in extreme poverty with no dad, nobody to help me, watching you walk right by me in rich furs with all of your other sons. And then that son died, his sister before her, and then the kid that you named heir after. And now you want to be my friend because you don't got no heirs?" Mm-hmm. Fuck you.
I wanted sweetmeats.
Yeah. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good.
Sounds great. I want a sweet meat.
I will continue as I began.
Yeah, alone.
Epic.
All by myself.
Yeah. What was that? I just gave you the yeah.
Yeah.
I tried so hard to yes and you, but just failed miserably.
I love the support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a scene of Missaria again, like kind of leaning into that like zealot Rhaenyra, which I think is a not good thing, right? Telling Rhaenyra that the gods favor her as the dragons fly around. And again, the annoying, yes, but at what cost? You know,
doom thousands to their deaths.
we get it. You're a good person. Now kill people, please. God, entertain me. You know?
Yeah.
Like Daenerys would fucking never.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
I'm going to burn people anyway.
Yeah. Be sad about it after.
Yeah.
But do it first.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission. Daenerys would never talk about all this bullshit.
See, you guys should never have been on the Black Council. I'm just saying, you would have been Bartimaeus Celtigar.
Oh, I would
Alfred
have
Bloom.
I would have treasoned that bitch up like episode 2.
No. I would have been like Massaria, but just like a little more like knock knock. I don't know why I'm from New Zealand.
Hey there.
Hey, Rhaenyra.
I wanted to know if you wanted to burn some people to a crisp.
Like Devon Province.
You know?
The people are starving in King's Landing. Maybe we should send them a gift of food. That might be good.
Or fire. Either one.
Fire and blood.
We've got two things to say. Fire, blood. That's my vote. Anyway, you're the queen. But yeah, she's like, man, but I don't want to kill people. It's boring. And we cut to Rhaenyra woken by Sir Cockblock. And but this time he knocks.
Oh, now he knocks.
Yes. Hey, are you making out in there?
Anything going on in here?
I know you said that we're going to do the knock policy from now on. I hope I do a good job. Maybe if we do three reps, knock, knock, knock. Or maybe a little ditty, like a knock, 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 knock.
You answer back if you're not scissoring with the knock knock.
But not like a cutting scissor, but like a pleasure scissor.
Hello?
What was that?
That's what she...
Was that Rhaenyra?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because she's all scared. Hello? It's the middle of the night. She goes down there and it's fucking Alicent. What? She dismisses all of her guards. And I love the first line Alicent delivers. I've been, I think, mistaken, which is the understatement of the century.
Yeah.
How the fuck did she end up there? She went out camping in the woods with that dude and she was like, you know what? I think I might stay in the woods.
Yeah, she took him and was like, look, we're going to take a
Wandered
little
around.
detour. Dragonstone.
Well, there's a scene earlier where she's was it when she was talking to Orwell where she was like, I need your help one last time or
Passage.
something like that. Passage, yeah. So she hooked up. Apparently, Orwell's got the hookup with some
Passage and
passageways, I
discretion.
guess.
He's got both of those things in spades.
Yeah.
This link is his passage and discretion link on his chain.
That's what I studied.
Yeah.
I've got a PhD in discretion. My lady.
But only an associate's in discretion.
That's right. I will tell.
I will narc on you so fast.
So,
The moment someone asks me where you are, I will fold like a deck of cards.
I studied discretion at Gateway.
Oh no.
I'm not even sure this chain is real.
Oh, look, it broke.
And I still owe so much money for this chain. So any hoozle, she sneaks into Dragonstone and they go back and forth a little bit. There's a funny line where she's talking about, I found lovers and stuff. And Rhaenyra's like,
Oh, look at you been banging around.
oh, yeah. And she's like, well, you started it, you little slutty slut.
Oh,
and then Rhaenyra's
you
like,
get my sloppies, all right?
and Rhaenyra's like, yes, but you alone made virtue your banner, right? And she's like, that's fair. It's all I had, though. All I knew was duty. I was just trying, I resented. They're coming clean, right? And she's like, I want to live, not rule. And Rhaenyra's like, it's too late. You're the one that said that. Like, people are literally dead. Shit's literally on fire.
Remember episode 2? Shit happened since then.
Yeah.
And
I love
she's
this line where
oh,
she's like, did your hand not bring it forward like a midwife? Like, that's such a good line.
yeah, because she's like, hey, look, they were going to try to overthrow you regardless of me. Don't put this on me. And she's like, yes, but did not your hand bring it forth like a midwife?
So good.
Did you not cut the cord?
Yeah. Anymore birthing.
Did you not
analogies?
breastfeed it?
Yeah, you suckled it at your perfect lead. Because they give gay energy, you know? So she's like, did you not suckle it at your perfect breasts?
There's always a subtle like compliment.
Yeah. You sashay your thick backyard around this room arrogantly. She's like, wait, what? Nothing. You always come in here smelling all good. And she's like, there's this bit where when Alicent is confronted with the idea that she has to kill her son or just before, or, you know, allow her son to be killed, she starts biting her fingers again. Like she did when she was a teenager, like old Rhaenyra did, played by Emily Carey. And I think that was a beautiful touch. And yeah, she offers to surrender the city when Aemond flies off to Harrenhal, open the gates. And she's like, look, you already got all the cards basically. Anyway, once you have the throne, it'll be done. Easy peasy, right? And then they argue about whether or not Aegon must die. And thankfully, Rhaenyra doesn't even consider that as an option, like him bending the knee. She's like, no,
he has to die. I have to kill him.
In front of everybody, brutally. Just to be clear, just no mercy. Probably slowly.
We'll probably hang him with the rat catchers.
Maybe, at best.
For days.
That little dog, though, won't care at all because
I will make him my master of coin.
Dog.
Because he's a good boy.
Just him sitting at the table with that ball, with the ball in his mouth. Somebody Photoshop that for me, please. Show it to me, Rachel.
Does the crown have the budget for attorney, master of coin? That means yes.
A son for a son. That's a callback. And then she says, you are much changed.
She says choose, and then she gives this little nod, and they're both crying. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, Alicent is willing to have Aegon killed in order to have this peace so that she and Helena may go and live a peaceful life after the war.
Yeah, and then so Rhaenyra's like, so what do I do with you? And she says, let me go, of course. Probably send me with some cheese and wine and maybe let me take a bath first and then fly to the Red Keep in 3 days' time and take your throne.
Can Sir Rickard come with me as well? Like, because I like glamping.
He does all the hunting. I'm not going to lie. I need him.
I need him. He's not going to be happy
I don't know how
about
to
it.
set up a tent.
Have you ever put a worm on a hook? It's gross.
It's gross. It's
Ew.
disgusting.
Ewy.
I swim in the lake while he does the fishing. I float. I don't even swim.
Sir Rickard, catch me. Catch me, I'm a fish.
I don't like the scene, the structure of it. I love this line. People are going to hate it. Rhaenyra says, it's a little on the nose. I still dig it. History will paint you a villain. The cold queen grasping for power and then defeated. Because that's the Alicent in the book.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
So good. It's so true.
I've seen so much criticism of like the book's so much more interesting because she's an active character and she has a lust for power and she puts all of this in motion and they made her so passive in the book.
Wholeheartedly disagree.
So disagree.
Disagree so
I think
wholeheartedly.
the evil stepmother is so fucking boring and this is great. The fact that they grew up as friends and they're just kind of stuck in these positions periodically. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a callback to, was it season 1 when Rhaenys told Alicent, like, you're in a prison cell. You're willingly in a prison, but just so you can look out the window. And now Alicent realizes that and wants to be free of the whole prison and wants to be out. And I love that the two of them are coming together and just kind of like plotting. I don't know. I love this story is that these two characters. So having an excuse to have them together, even though it's kind of hackneyed to like the way we got here is kind of lame, but the context and the content of the scene, let me eat it up.
You're selling me. And then Alicent says, come with me.
Come with me.
What?
But now,
because I think the two of them are very similar, like, and they didn't even know it.
They flopped now.
They
now it
completely
is
flip-flop.
Alicent that yearns for Rhaenyra's freedom that she resented when she was a kid. And it is now Rhaenyra that is bound to duty. And she says, I can't, right?
Yeah.
But you have fun, girl. I had so much fun out there.
Girl, ride that coal pole.
Yeah. And also it's neat because this episode ends like after the season 3 trailer at the end here. The last shot is Alicent looking out at Dragonstone and then Rhaenyra looking at the opposite side of the frame from Dragonstone. And it's almost as if they're staring at each other from 300 miles away across the bay.
And it's also a great shot because Rhaenyra is framed with the grid of the scrolls.
Trapped.
Like she's trapped in the history of what she needs to do for the prophecy,
Yeah.
for the realm, and Alicent's free. Like it's
this wide open vista.
It's just wide open vista. It's like this really great.
Ooh, I got chills.
And they're
It's a
teeny
great
tiny
shot.
little at the bottom of the frame. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then, so we get this giant montage of everything that's going on. Hugh is suiting up. Adam is suiting up. Alf is getting brushed.
Being a dumb bitch.
Yeah. Alf being a dumb bitch. Fucking Rhaena is running. Old Town, the armies of Old Town are marching with Tessarion.
We get to see Tessarion.
He looks beautiful.
The Blue Queen.
Is it a girl as well?
I think so. I think they call it Tessarion the Blue Queen.
There's so many she-dragons.
There is.
You know, we don't actually know how sex works with dragons, just so everybody knows. It's not verified. Some people surmise that they change gender at will. Just saying. I say that because I misgender them all the time and it's my only defense. Greybeards are crossing the bridge at the Twins.
the twins.
I can't wait to get them butts.
Ooh, twins. That's 2 sets of butts.
Jason Lannister is marching with his literal lions. Daemon walks out of Harrenhal and looks at his army. Alicent in full spy mode. She's got her cowl up. Tyland sailing with Lohar. Alan suited up in the tiny boat with Corlys headed out to the Queen Who Never Was, the new name of the boat. Rhaena finally finds Sheep Stealer.
What a cool looking dragon. I love how the spines and its wings are all like long and curled up and gangly looking.
He looks like a sheep stealer.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if the audio foley for that dragon was like, "Bleh," like it was like a sheep noise?
He'd eaten so many sheep, he'd become, you are what you eat.
Yep.
Otto is a captive, it looks
He's
like.
in a
What?
cage.
That's why he hasn't been answering the letters.
Is he in a black cell? Is that King's Landing?
know where he is.
What if he never left?
Oh, shit.
He never left King's Landing. He's been there the whole time.
It's like some Man in the Iron Mask shit.
That's so crazy. Oh, what a
Who
deep
put
cut.
him there? Who put him there?
I don't know. I'm so confused. Was it Alicent herself?
I don't think it was Alicent because she's been trying to get a hold of him.
Would it have been Laris?
Could have been. I could see it being
So
Laris.
he's not threatened his hand?
Yeah, I could see it being Laris.
It was definitely Laris.
Or God, it has to be
Laris.
Aemon says, send for him. And Laris is like, sure.
You didn't specify what to do when he got here. It's fair.
He's in the green room.
I sent for him.
The green room is the black cell.
And then, Alicent returns to King's Landing. Aegon and Laris are sneaking out of the city. They're in like a little wagon. And Alicent and Rhaenyra are looking at each other across the bay. And that is the end of the finale, the end of season 2 of House of the Dragon, and the beginning of 2 years of pain for us.
Good God.
But we are getting 7 Game of Thrones universe adaptations. Did you guys hear about this?
I saw that, yeah.
3 live action, 4 animated. So
I didn't hear about the animated. That's
one
cool.
is the Hedge Knight. One is the
Hedge Knight's animated?
It's live action.
Oh, okay.
And that's already like shooting right now. And then 10,000 Ships, the Nymeria story is live action.
Love that.
And Aegon's Conquest is live action.
What? That'll be dope.
Yeah.
Can't wait for
Fire.
And then
that. What are
there's
the animated ones?
there
The sea snake?
2 unspecified one. Yeah, there's a sea snake one. I think that is animated. I don't know. What else?
Well, I'm excited.
I think the Doom of Old Valyria should be an animated
Yeah, that
one.
would be
That'd be amazing.
They need to tell us what's going on over there.
Us specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holla at your boys.
We 3.
We're in the dark. Come on. What happened over there?
I say that to say that we'll have a lot of stuff to, like, I think we'll probably get the Hedge Knight show before season 3. And so we'll obviously be covering that here. We're covering Game of Thrones all the while on our Patreon.
Oh, yeah. Haha, got
Good to
him.
go. Which brings us to our Valyrian Steels, our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. Andy,
Yes.
what is your number 3?
It's cheating.
cheating.
Okay.
The hype trailer for season 3 that they end the episode with, just like showing all the people getting ready, the army's marching, the Greybeards pinching the butts.
It's a hype moment.
It's a hype moment. And that fucking fire ass shot at the end, specifically of Rhaenyra and Alicent all teeny tiny at the bottom of the frame, and the weight of history on top of Rhaenyra and the open skies above Alicent. Fucking beautiful. But yeah, just a little taste for what's to come. Even though it's frustrating in the moment, it was really well done. I was sitting there with chills the whole time.
Indeed. Steve.
My number 3 is Damon's vision of the future. Because it was cool to see the thing that kind of saved it, honestly, because I was also a little bit like remember this? Remember Game of Thrones? Remember the White Walkers? Remember Daenerys have the 3 dragons? I was a little kind of like, okay, I'm not really buying this. But what turned it around and made me really enjoy it was bringing Helena into it and making her a much more active participant in the story in a very interesting and fun and unique way that is only doable in this show. And that's my number 3. I love Helena.
Was Daenerys bald like she was supposed to be in the books? Like she was, but
I'd have to go back. I don't think she was. I don't think she was.
But that's my number 3 as well. I call it Alice's vision, but it is Daemon having it, but it's Alice. It like made it happen.
The vision was the friends we made along the way. Yeah.
What
Is
if
the
Paul
vision in the
Bettany
room with
just?
us?
What if Paul Bettany just popped up?
He starts talking about the ship metaphor.
Hello, the ship of Theseus. Andy, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is your girl's number 3. But I'm also going to cheat a little bit and say that it's not just
You can't double cheat.
Damon's vision, but also the subsequent scene with Helena. Because
That's super cheating.
For me, it's one scene. It's well, she ties them
2
together.
different settings completely.
No, well, same character, 2 settings.
She's the anchor.
She anchors the both of them.
She
and
does.
They tie in together because she talks about the vision that I feel like she was seeing the same things that Matt Smith was. And but like the sinking into the God's eye and stuff. She was like, I saw you, but she was talking about the both of them. And like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well done.
My number 2? Is that what
Yeah.
Yeah,
2.
my number 2 is Rhaenyra and Daemon reuniting. Like I loved her kind of coming in, all House of Fire, no pun intended, and her just kind of like stepping back like, and whom do you serve? And just putting him on the spot like that. And they have that little exchange in High Valyrian, which is something that like the 2 of them have always done. It was a nice little like, oh yeah, we're finally at this point. They're finally back together. Are we finally done with Daemon at Spooky Harrenhal?
Yeah.
I'm really happy that storyline's over with because there were some fun moments, but it was kind of like honestly, oh fuck, come on, let's go.
Season's worth, yeah.
Let's go. And so, and seeing Daemon finally like back on the team, like he finally got over himself. Like let's fucking go. I'm excited. Let's do it.
I think we're all going to have all 3 of the same moments in the same order, Steve. That is my number 2 as well. Daemon bowing. Yeah, it doesn't carry the weight. None of these moments carry the weight of like what we got in season 1. I'd be curious if you guys think that it's not as satisfying overall in general as well, because like we get the King Viserys bursting into the throne room to save Rhaenyra, like that kind of stuff.
That's like the best scene of the whole show. Still,
we get none of that, but it's up there ish. It's in the ballpark. And I love this scene. I love these 2 characters so much. As much as Daemon's not a good person, I like him better when he's like her piece of shit that she can unleash. That's a fun thing for me.
her rogue.
Yeah. My number 2 as well. Andy, your favorite moment of the finale?
Mine is going to be Alicent visiting Rhaenyra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment for sure. They're just the writing in it was incredible. Never mind the artifice of how the scene came to be, whether they are double dipping with the concept of the scene at all. I
think they're double dipping on purpose. I want to be clear, like the shoes on the other foot kind of thing was the intention.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was like an inversion of what we had previously. And it was seeing how far both of these characters have changed. And the little bits at the beginning, especially where it's like, oh, look, you're running around, horn around too, huh? Pot calling the kettle black a little bit. And like, I just love that because it was like, more than we had with the, part 1 of the 2 of them sneaking to see each other. This was more even playing field in that they, could speak more freely and openly and stuff. And so that they could then throw those little things into each other's face because these are 2, former best friends that haven't spoken for years. And then also like just the visual acting or physical acting of the two of them when it's like you need to choose, like, I'm going to kill your son, and like the way that they're both crying and like the little nod and stuff, like just heartbreaking, beautiful.
That's my number one as well. I quite enjoy the scene. Again, like you said,
Shyamalan
Anthony,
twist.
the artifice of getting to here was a little strained, but the actual scene itself was great. The dialogue was great, and the acting was phenomenal Olivia Cook and Emma Darcy are so incredible at these roles. They know how to play it, and I really appreciated that I could easily see them where Rhaenyra could be like, "Hey, I have to kill your son. If like we do this, like I can't let him go." And you get to see Alicent really struggle with it and really process it. And it takes a long time of just watching Olivia Cook act and then also Emma Darcy act. And I could easily see in a different show, Emma Darcy or Rhaenyra going like, okay, maybe we can find a compromise here. But I appreciated how she kept her ground. No, I have to, like, this sucks. Like, this is a really shitty thing I'm telling you have to do or let happen, but I'm standing my ground. And I appreciated that because I think it's more true to the character. And what an incredible wrinkle it adds to Alicent's character by agreeing to it and being willing to sacrifice her own son for her and Helena's happiness, and also for the realm being safer as well. And we'll get into Westerospection because there's another wrinkle that the scene I think adds that I really appreciate to the story overall, but I think that's best left in Westerospection. But yeah, that's my favorite scene of this episode.
My favorite scene is actually between Alan and Corlys.
Great scene. I
loved that interaction. You know, the way that Alan is so stiff and reserved, and he's just trying to do what he's told, and he's been broiling all season. And the fact that Corlys has the gall to be like, you could smile more. You could be a little more grateful.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you, dude. And that's when he just like, oh, you fuck, dude, I'm like 37. I'm good now. Like, you know what I mean?
Which is hilarious because in the book, I think he's supposed to be like 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old ass Corlys is 70 something.
Yeah.
And he's 15.
It's satisfying to me that Corlys took it. He's really contemplating what's being said. Like, you know what?
It's a great interaction because Corlys he fancies himself as a self-made man. Like he took this house, House Velaryon, and made it into what it is today through his adventures, his exploits, his ambition. So he sees himself as a self-made man. And here's this bastard son he has that he's ignored his whole life, who has kind of done what little he's been able to take and made a life for himself. He's a first mate of a really prestigious ship for one of the highest ranking lords in the whole country. And in a way, he's just kind of like, he has to respect that. It's kind of, I love how they're holding this mirror up to Corlys being like, yo, dude, you're cool and all, everyone loves you, but you kind of fucked up.
And everything about his characterization worked, like the fact that he shaves his head so that he doesn't look like his dad, whereas Adam is just like, I'm clearly your son.
Hey, Daddy.
Daddy, I love you.
Daddy.
Give me money.
Daddy, I don't think I can go to work anymore.
I'm writing a dragon.
Money, please.
The West.
Just thinking Adam and Alan like, oh man, you invited Adam. He is the what?
Yes.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. I'm technically homeless.
Yeah. That's my favorite moment, which brings us to our dragon eggs. I only have like one really tiny thing because I want to talk about the rest in Westerospection. Andy, what do you got?
I mean, we talked about all of mine. Like the deep cuts were not deep. They were pretty surface level.
Tywin mention.
It's Tywin. Look, it's the Blood Raven. That one blue one that was Tessarian. We talked about all that. So,
Steve, you got anything?
In Essos, one of the Triarchy guys had a blue beard, which is something that a lot of characters in Game of Thrones, in Essos specifically, are described as having blue beards. But up to this point, the show hasn't had the balls to put a blue bearded person on frame. And it was just kind of fun to see, like, oh, there he is. Because isn't Ilario from Game of Thrones supposed to have a blue beard?
has not a blue one.
Or a purple
he is
one?
yellow. What's the paramour? Danny's.
My note is Dario Naharis.
Dario. Yeah,
he's got 3 different colors, I think. A triple forked beard, I think. But yeah, they didn't do that. Yeah. They weren't willing to. But that was my one tiny egg, a little Eggo.
And then the city the town Sharp Point that Aemon destroys is the seat of House Bar Emmon in the Crownlands. Yeah. Is Bar Emmon was one of those guys on the court, the Black Court at one point? Was there a Bar Emmon there?
I'm almost positive yes.
But I can't remember which one it was.
It's also one of the houses sent with, I could be wrong about this, but sent with Beric Dondarrion to bring down Gregor Clegane, I thought.
Beric Dondarrion.
And bar him and you go with him, kind of thing. Beric Dondarrion.
Beric Dondarrion.
Beric Dondarrion. Which brings us to our Mummer's Dragon, our favorite performance of the episode. What do you got, Andy?
I'm going to give it to Olivia Cook.
Ooh, I love stunning.
Just
stunning.
For that final scene, man. So good. So good. I thought about giving it to Helena. And part of me, it's close second. But just particularly for that last scene between Rhaenyra and Alicent, I got to give it to Olivia Cook.
Nice.
Okay. Steve.
Never go wrong with giving it to Olivia. I'm going to butcher this person's name, so I'm sorry. I'm giving it to Abubakar Salim, who plays Alan of Hall. That one scene between him and Corlys, I was legitimately moved to tears in that scene, and it's 100% because of his performance. It is so powerful the way, this whole season he's been kind of keeping himself stern and rigid and not showing a lot of emotion, and just seeing it just kind of pour out of him in this self-righteous, anger and resentment and hurt. It really was just beautiful, and I'm really excited to see more of Alan of Hall in the forthcoming season, because that was stunning.
I love the Olivia Cook shout out. I'm also giving it to Abubakar Salim. However, shout out to Fia Saban, Helena, incredible work. But also Gail Rankin, who plays Alice. I have not shouted out ever this season. She's phenomenal. Steve, you probably remember her work in Glow.
Who was she in Glow?
Sheila, the she-wolf.
Oh, no shit.
You probably
Okay.
didn't recognize her without the eyeliner.
Oh, yeah. Damn, that is her. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Gail Rankin's doing the God's work in these shows.
God's work in the God's wood. Hell yeah.
But this was kind of, nobody was in the forefront. Everybody was just doing their fucking job, And shout out Simon Strong, baby.
I love that guy. Love that guy.
Hope you're coming back.
So who are you giving it? The
I'm
actual
giving
award
it to Abubakar Salim as well. Alan floored me in this episode. Now, maybe not a ton to do, but just I got full body shivers during that speech.
Same.
Hold up. I just love it. I love it, and the fact that Corlys was taking it. You got some good points. I think it was just an incredible scene. But let's talk about Westerospection. Let's talk about people who have read Fire and Blood sticking around, and people who have not going somewhere else temporarily.
Yeah. Go to Tumbleton.
So if you haven't read the book, you don't want to be spoiled, listen to the Game of Thrones coverage on Patreon, come back for season 3, listen next week for our mailbag stuff, and whatever else we do. We love you so much. Thank you for coming. Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
The night is dark and full of spoilers. Get out. Get out.
Speaking of get out, let's bust out them cupcakes, baby.
Ooh, let's get out and
celebrate them.
Here we go.
So, a couple things. You talked about the dead dragon, right? In the books, Sunfire is alive. Yeah. He's wounded in the woods. People are trying to kill him, but even though he can't fly, he's rebuffing them, right? Do you guys think they have actually killed Sunfire, or do you think it's I
do.
A misnomer.
I don't think that Sunfire, and I think we talked about this briefly, another episode where they had said that he had died.
He was long in the dying was the term.
Yeah, long in the dying.
Said long in the dying.
But does he do much else?
He does
a very important thing.
Oh yeah, he eats.
He eats Rhaenyra.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have Vagar do that. No, Vagar, are we dead by then?
So, I think it's a red herring.
I think he's alive. Because there's a huge portion of the book where he's just, nobody knows where he is. And I think they've just done that sooner.
Oh, you didn't even show Steve.
Oh yeah, you can make the thing, man.
Oh, okay.
Make the thing.
This is the important conversation that people are listening to us for.
Yeah.
But so, okay, do I just rip it?
Yeah, you just be a man. You're still doing it gingerly.
Be a man and handle it.
I want to get like an actual solid piece. I didn't want to get like half.
Oh,
a piece.
like I didn't.
Well, you're much more.
I'm an old hand at this.
Yeah, you're a veteran. I'm not. Oh, look at this thing. Look how fun.
You got your little cupcake sandwich.
This is a game changer because honestly, one of the things I hate about cupcakes is biting like over the like
The
mega
teeth
icing
going into the icing,
I usually steer clear of cupcakes for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
I typically
This is
don't
a
eat
game
icing
changer.
at all. I'm eating little bits of it.
Yeah, I'm going in.
It's not even icing. This is whipped cream.
I'm going in for the kill.
So yeah, I think he's alive, and they're skipping the part where he's laying there wounded and people are trying to kill him. That's my theory.
Yeah, cool. I hope they keep that boy alive because he's so pretty. He's too pretty to end off. I would be so mad if we only see Sunfire like in like basically an episode. I'd be so mad.
Well, it would be cool if they killed him now, and then Rhaenyra just lives.
But he did boop the snoot. So
That would be cool.
new ending. If we only saw him the one time, we got to see him boop the snoot, and that was, you know, the best way to see him. That's how I would choose to remember him.
Yep. R.I.P. King.
Another thing I have is it's pretty neat. There's this little line that's interesting that Alicent delivers when Aemond is trying to get her to fly Dreamfire to battle. And she says something about to the effect of regarding Helena, and who will she be if her mind is broken? So again, she's like mad, quote unquote, at this point in the books, and they haven't seemed to do that yet. Was that like an Easter egg, or do you think it's foreshadowing? Do you think they're gonna do that?
I feel like narratively, it's foreshadowing. Like, because we've already sort of like established with this episode that Helena is somehow plugged into the Weirwood network, the Weirwood internet, whatever you want to call it.
The Weird Net.
It's like the dark web.
Yeah, and it's like in the Matrix, like when you plug into the Matrix, if you like plug out the wrong way, it like kind of fries your brain.
Not like this.
Not like this. Maybe Helena will have a not like this moment, and she gets unplugged incorrectly, and it kind of makes her like even more touched.
Oh, she's going to have a Hodor moment?
Oh, I can see that happening.
Okay.
And you got some icing, like right.
It's just dangling.
You're like,
You just-
ew, oh, it's worse.
Stop.
Stop doing that.
Just diddling it.
I'm a big fan of diddling the icing.
Oh, I'm so glad you said the icing.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. Okay. And then also there was a little line, I wish I had written it down. I might even be making this up. Wasn't there a joke when he's talking to Lohar? Tylan says something about like cut off my hand. And as you know, he gets like a limb cut off and blinded in the books. And I think there was a joke or a foreshadowing bit with him but I didn't write it down.
Does he say something about cutting off his hand?
He says something to that extent, I believe.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that happens to you. Don't say that.
He's like, I'm blinded by the prospect of our union.
Because he's a fully blind and has missing limbs and is made master of coin or something, isn't he?
His face is mutilated to the point where he has to like wear a hood. And so
Because he's tortured by somebody that works for Rhaenyra. I forget who.
yeah, and they're like,
where's the gold? And he's like, oh no.
Because he hid the gold, yeah. And so he's like mutilated to the point where like he has to wear a hood, and people start making like up stories that he's like this haunted cryptid.
Oh, because he ends up ruling for a while, yeah.
Because he's the hand of the king for is it Aegon, the youngest son? But yeah, he's a very interesting character in the book. Like, he's one of the more interesting characters to come out of the Dance of the Dragons. So it's kind of fun to watch this character sort of come into his own, because up to this point he's been very comical Lannister in the background. So to see them bring him more into the forefront and be like, you're going on a triarchy adventure and you're gonna fuck all these wives and do some mud wrestling and jello shots on spring break.
Yeah.
It's so
fun to
random
see.
that they chose to do mud wrestling in the finale of House of the Dragon.
It's like when Tyrion has like a trial by combat and like, choose your weapon. Let's do it in the mud.
It doesn't, it's not giving finale is what I think the kids would say, right?
Yeah.
Right. I wrote down Alfred Broom specifically. Like, it's great to see him start doing his turncloak treason thing, because he's the one that turncloak treasons in the book and results in Rhaenyra dying. Because he's the one who's like, yeah, let's go to Dragonstone, everybody. I totally haven't.
Oh, he's the guy that
Yeah,
is left as what, Castellan of Dragonstone? Or is he the one that like?
There's a different person who's left as the Castellan, but he
kills him.
He kills him, and he brings Rhaenyra over to like, we'll be safe over there. But he's already kind of like worked with Aegon to like set this trap.
That's
up.
why he can't. Damon couldn't cut his head off, because he's the guy that does that later. That motherfucker.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I knew he looked like a piece of shit. God damn it.
I'm upset in advance.
And going back to that scene with Rhaenyra and Alicent, I really love the context of, because in the book, Alicent and Rhaenyra and Daemon just like, oh, Aemon's going to Harrenhal. Let's just swoop in and take King's Landing.
Yeah, it's just like a tactical idea.
Yeah, but I like the idea of, again, the show making that event true, but recontextualizing it like, oh, Alicent was the one that was like, hey, this is happening.
Yeah.
Aemon's leaving in 3 days.
Do it on Wednesday.
Do it on Wednesday. I will tell everyone just to let you in. It'll be a bloodless coup. Just get in here and do the thing. I really like that, because it just makes it more interesting.
It's Sunday. So Aemond Tuesday night, I think, will fly out. So just Wednesday afternoon, just to be safe.
Just to be safe.
Hump day. Remember that.
Oh, hump day.
Were you the camel for a second?
Yeah.
Mike. What day is it?
Hump day. We're going to King's Landing.
I want to talk about Daemon's vision specifically. They show his death, drowning, right? Because he jumps from Caraxes, stabs Aemon through the face, and they both tumble into the water, never to be seen again.
But I mean, they foreshadow his death and Aemon's death, because Helena specifically tells Aemon, like, you're going to die in the God's Eye. Like,
well, they recover Aemon's body. So it's like, there he is. He's dead.
Legend has it he may have snuck off with Nettles and lived out the rest of his days.
Doesn't look like it.
That's a character that doesn't exist anymore. So,
well, I mean,
season 3. Never know.
Maybe it's Rhaena.
I guess he could go live with his daughter forever.
Rhaena just dyes her hair black and is like, I'm Nettles. See how rough I look? I've been living in the Vale for 3 weeks.
It's true.
Honest, can I admit something kind of embarrassing?
Sure.
Speaking of the Vale, the scene with Rhaenyra and Alicent, when it first cuts to Alicent being in the room, she's kind of in the background wearing that like hood with like the blue
thought
cloak.
it was Lady Jane.
I was like, Lady Jane? What's Lady Jane doing here?
And Erica's in the room with us watching. She's like, no way. And I'm like, no way.
You didn't know who it was yet?
Who is that?
No way. I too am shocked because I know who that is.
It's obviously her.
It's obviously Alicent.
Yeah.
You guys are dumb.
Yes.
I think that's all my Westerospection. Yeah. The history will paint you as a villain I already talked about.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love it.
Okay, so let's talk about plotting for season 3, right?
Where did you guys think we were going to end? Because we kind of started at the beginning of the episode.
I'm on record of saying I thought it should end fully with Rhaenyra taking King's Landing to be the inverse of season 1. But I had started to think there's no way they're going to get that far. So it has to be the gullet will be the last thing we see. Jace will be dead. And then, that's how it's going to end. And I think this is what kind of makes me more angry. I don't think they did it for any kind of good story reasons or anything. I think they were literally like, people love this guy. We need to keep Jace until season 3. That's the only reason they ended it when they did.
I agree with you, especially as we were watching this episode. I thought like, ooh, this episode's going to end with them taking King's Landing. And it just didn't happen. And it just kind of seems like, can we just have made the episode like 15 minutes longer?
Well, it couldn't be the taking King's Landing because that still happens after yet another battle. I think Cole dies as they're taking King's Landing.
Well, they've already messed with the timeline.
That's true.
Because in the book, Cole heads off towards Rook's Rest and never comes back to.
Well, they've already sent him back out again to go do that thing. So
sure, but they're like they're going fast and loose with the exact timeline of these things, and so I can see where they take King's Landing, end on a big high, like yay, Team Black's riding high, and then start the next season with the low point of the gullet, happening or something like that. But again, like if this episode was the penultimate to the taking of King's Landing, how fucking great would that have been for a season ender?
Wonderful.
So now God's Eye is going to have to be season 4, right?
Oh yeah,
Well, for sure. You can't get rid of Daemon and Aemond until like the end of the show.
yeah.
Which is interesting because I wonder how much they're going to get into Aegon III, and because there's a lot of cool Cregan Stark stuff that all of that happens post Rhaenyra's demise.
God, yeah, the Cregan Stark stuff could be a season in and of itself,
But
like
they
an
haven't.
epilogue season.
They took out Black Alley too, so it's like it's a phenomenal character, and that becomes
They took out Kermit Tully.
and Steve will stand for it.
Kermit. God.
But you need Black Alley because that becomes Cregan's wife, and that's awesome.
Well, wouldn't you see Black Alley more in the fish feed, like around that?
Yeah,
like that set of characters.
They might Darren the Daring her for sure.
Yeah.
I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, dude, it still fucking blows my mind. We have not seen Darren Targaryen. They
just-
merely talk. He's really cool.
You're gonna love him.
You're gonna love him when you see him. Oh, there's his dragon.
You know who does love him? Bitches in Old Town.
He can play the flute like a motherfucker.
He tried to pole vault yesterday, and guess what? His hog got in the way. Caraxes loves hogs. No, not this kind.
Have you seen my big red noodly boy?
Anyway, I love you all. Buy the merch now. Listen to the Game of Thrones coverage. We're going to be doing that for many, many months. Rings of Power Season 2 is coming up. Just a quick reminder, send in your emails.
Yeah, send them in.
Let us know in the Discord what questions you have for the mailbag episode that's happening next week.
Mailbag.
Let's just focus on that. Focus on more dragons for 2 more weeks. That's all the time we've got for right now. We've got to return our videotapes. My name is Kit.
I'm Andy. And I'm Steve.
And this was Streaming Things, streaming House of the Dragon.
Happy streaming.